Hello, folks. Let's see if we can get this going. It looks like the Wi-Fi has been taken down. So that's what happened. It wasn't OBS this time. Can you imagine? Feeling refreshed, hopefully. Believe it or not, it wasn't OBS this time. This whole time I thought it was OBS, but the Wi-Fi is down. So I'm running off my hotspot. But the show goes on, folks. The show goes on, even if we have to run on a hotspot. The stream doesn't stop because we lost internet, folks. Okay, we've always got options here. Anyways. So as I was saying before the internet died, I'm hoping we can just kind of power through this until the end of the stream. We'll see. Yeah, we're back. I don't see that we have Wi-Fi on anything except just running through. Yeah, it seems kind of weird. Anyways, we're back. So she could very well have been assaulted by ICE, and she is putting herself at risk just by doing this. So the nerves of steel of this woman.
Nada. No diga nada, oiga. Escúcheme y confía en mí. Suba las ventanas. You guys just passed a fucking red light, you fucking criminals. You guys are risking people's lives. You know what the fuck you're doing is wrong. Get out of here. Go.
How rude.
Si están en West Chicago, tienen que venir aquí ya. Ya. Déjenlo ir. You guys are racially profiling people. This is illegal as a motherfucker. I need badges. Are you guys ICE? You guys need to identify yourselves. Identify yourselves.
Also, like, they're not also they're not police, right? Like, they're not police. It is very, like, ICE is very different from police. So actually, I don't know who these people are. That's an old meme, sir, but it still checks out. Actually, ICE is not the police, so I genuinely don't know who these people are. As far as I'm concerned, it looks like these people have stopped this random truck and are trying to abduct whoever's in that truck.
Identify yourselves. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?
Immigration officer.
Can I see your badge number ID now? Badge number ID? What?
They're covering their badge. I don't know if you noticed that.
Why are you covering your face, coward?
They've got a little strip over their badge, and they've got no face to identify. Like, I don't know who this guy is. I don't even know if that's a real badge, because I don't know who it is, and I can't attach that name to a badge number.
Why are you covering your face? When this is over, you guys are all gonna get fucked in the ass. Why are you guys covering your faces?
Step back.
I'll stay back, but why are you covering your faces?
Because they're the Gestapo, man. They're a bunch of
Do not
goons.
come and terrorize these people that work hard to provide for their fucking families.
Okay, so let's skip ahead to the last 2 minutes or so. In between, like I say, she directs another standby to call the cops on these people.
Yep.
And by the end, she's telling him, no diga nada, say nothing. And at one point, now they can't arrest the guy without any suspicion that he's, I mean, listen, they could do whatever they want, but it's much harder for them to do this if he's not saying anything, because they have no basis in which to think that he is run afoul of immigration laws, because they just saw him in a van and saw that he looked Mexican.
Yep.
And they pulled over the van. That was it. And so play this at the end, because then she's basically like, they're sort of frozen, and she basically yells to the guy, just drive away. Drive away.
Why did you even pull him over? Because you guys let him go. I'm backing up. I'm backing up.
Keep recording. Keep recording. Back up. Back up. Go, bro. Go. 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 Go, Mom. Go.
You guys, why are you even detaining him? You guys have to follow law too. You guys are not above the law, motherfuckers.
Go. Go.
You guys are not above the law. You are not above the law. You are not above the law. You are not above the fucking law. I really hope. Fucking pussy. Fuck all of you motherfuckers. They ran a red light to come after this man.
Heck yeah.
She's revving that minivan.
Ladybug, welcome again. I know it's been a bumpy ride here. We lost Wi-Fi signal, but we're chugging along with our little hotspot. You know, we're chugging along with our little hotspot. Not bad, honestly. It seems to be working just fine. That was so damn awesome. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. This is here. This is how you do resistance, folks. Okay? This is how you do it. The nerves of steel, man. The nerves of steel.
Y'all some fucking pussies.
I was like, something happened. Yeah, the internet is down. I gotta check that out after I'm done with the stream. I don't know if that service is down. I don't know if it's just the router. But yeah, I gotta check it, because it's weird, because I'm seeing my network here, but it's not, there's no internet. So maybe the service is out, I don't know.
And they end up, she's following them, they end up splitting up, but that's it. We don't know what ended up happening to that guy, but it appears as if he was able to keep moving on.
Heck yes. You know why? Because they didn't have anything to arrest him with. Okay, and again, this is at the heart of everything. Do not be. They want you to comply in advance. Okay, when everything is against them. Okay, the law, the Constitution, everything. Okay, just from like the legal standpoint, from the moral standpoint, they are wrong. Okay, and they the only thing that they can do is to make you afraid enough so that you don't stand up to them and they can continue to do what they're doing. That's what this is about. They want preemptive submission. They want you to lay down before anything so that they can continue. Because if you do, then it doesn't matter whether something is illegal or not. You've already complied. Doesn't matter if what ICE is doing is legal or not. If there's no people fighting back, if there's no people filming, if there's no people out there trying to warn people, making community groups to warn people of ICE's movements, if there's no people filming, then they get to do whatever they want. It's acts of resistance like this that are everything. Whether it's an entire community coming together and pushing ICE out of their community like in New York, or whether it's this one woman who saw and who acted quickly to try to save that person. Just to be clear, we have no idea of whether or not that person was even undocumented or not.
And
A
you know,
link to her channel. She's done some great work. She's got 3 or 4 videos on there now.
what's her name?
There's no name on there, and it looks like the YouTube channel was originally like Cumbia piano instructions, and it's kind of, since this ICE fascist takeover, it's kind of switched into that.
All right, let's put a link underneath there. And
Video from a running club yesterday about this,
Right.
all these people having to turn their
Okay, we're back. Man, we are just having a really tough time with this. Jesus. Oh, I see. Looks like the Wi-Fi is back. The Wi-Fi is back, folks. All right.
how you organize around.
Yeah, I blame Bezos and Amazon cloud servers.
And it doesn't have to be necessarily something that's so political. It can be just something that's in your building that you're upset. You know, you think that you have fellow tenants who may be upset about, or something in your community that you think people might be upset about. The idea is you create these social networks, you build a certain camaraderie and trust amongst a group of people who are at least somewhat like-minded, or at the very least starting with just a similar problem that they have to deal with. And then these things can sort of migrate when the moment calls for it, and the moment's going to call for it if it hasn't already. Obviously in Chicago and places like that, it's been much more dramatic, but we're going to see this across the country in the coming months. This is going to be important stuff. MJS617 says, these people are incredibly brave, but I genuinely fear for their safety. It's honestly inspiring to see this level of awareness and fierce rejection of fascism by people every day. Exact same sentiments. Cumbia and jazz fusion, Charles Mingus. Look it up. She knows, says Nicola. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button.
All right, folks, let's just run through some of these things before we just get, before we get taken down by the deep state. Okay. Let's just try to go through some. If we make it through a couple of these articles, then we're doing all right. Jeff Bezos is not the one to blame for the loss of the internet. It's my human hillbilly supporters that don't give a damn about. Looney Tunes, welcome. All right, let's just get as much of this done as possible. Hey, remember Ben Shapiro? Yeah, me neither. Ben Shapiro blasts intellectual coward Tucker Carlson amid staff shakeup at the Heritage. So this is all about the I don't know why Ben Shapiro's all of a sudden clutching these pearls. I mean, I literally talked about this 5 years ago, the same video that I showed you guys about the Groyper Wars. I don't know why Ben Shapiro is all of a sudden clutching pearls, brother. Your ideology is what led to this. What led to this, fam? You. If you want to know how we got Nick Fuentes being interviewed, and shown in a positive light by Tucker Carlson, you need only look in the mirror, Ben. Okay. This is just the natural conclusion of your ideology. So I don't know what the surprise Pikachu face is or what the hemming and hawing is about, or pearl clutching is about, because this is you, man. You made this bed, okay? Ben Shapiro can kick rocks. I agree. In an episode of the Ben Shapiro show released on Monday, the conservative podcaster criticized Carlson's podcast episode with Holocaust denier Nick Fuentes, or, another way of putting it is Nazi. And still, like, he works with Matt Walsh, okay? He shares a media space with Matt Walsh. So, like, I don't know why all of a sudden he's worried and concerned about the hateful and Nazi shit that's coming out of the right. Conservative podcaster Ben Shapiro blasted Tucker Carlson on Monday, calling him the most virulent super spreader of vile ideas in America. I mean, zero self-awareness out of this man. Zero self-awareness. Because the person who led to all of this are people like you, Ben. I mean, this is not that difficult to understand and to put the A to the B to the C. It's linear, okay? It's not even that complex. It's linear, okay? Adding fuel to an incident that sparked a staff shakeup at the Heritage Foundation, or Heritage Institute. In an episode of the, quote, Ben Shapiro Show, released on Monday, today, Shapiro criticized Carlson's podcast with Holocaust denier, another way of saying it is Nazi, Nick Fuentes, saying Carlson failed to push back on Fuentes' bigotry. Now, let's put on our thinking caps for just a moment. Why would someone like Carlson fail to push back on a Nazi's ideology? Can we take a guess here, chat? The issue here isn't that Tucker Carlson had Nick Fuentes on his show last week. He had every right to do so, of course, Shapiro said. Of course. The issue here is that Tucker Carlson decided to normalize and fluff Nick Fuentes, and that the Heritage Foundation then decided to robustly defend that performance. Again, I ask, why do you think Tucker Carlson treated Nick Fuentes like that and normalized his ideas? Let's put on our thinking caps, Ben Shapiro. Okay, it's not that hard to realize why someone would feel comfortable normalizing a Nazi's ideology. Okay? Oh, man. Not beating the Nazi allegations, right? The right wing is not beating the Nazi allegations. They see the writing on the wall. They know the Groypers are the future of the party. Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course. Like this is the natural conclusion of that ideology. I literally talked about this 5 years ago in 2019. This is just the natural conclusion of this ideology. Shapiro's critique is the latest crack in a conservative movement splintering over Carlson's inflammatory interview with Fuentes. Inflammatory, sure, I guess that's the word I would use. Or maybe another word would be horrific. Another word would be disturbing. Another word would be, another way of framing it would be like, yeah, you're platforming Nazis because you yourself are a Nazi. Sorry, Carlos, but Nick Fuentes can't even think. That's true. So I guess we can't really expect Ben Shapiro to do much better. Worst case scenario is they just want the Groypers to vote. The best case scenario is they just want the Groypers to vote. I mean, I guess, but it's it's not very comforting if you're if you're willing to just kind of capitulate to the worst of to the least common denominator. The interview, which aired last week, was laced with anti-Semitic references and sparked division within the Republican Party over whether the discussion should be allowed or condemned. I mean, like, what? Oh my God. So yeah, the Republican Party is currently divided on whether or not the Nazi should be allowed or condemned. That's phenomenal. Phenomenal. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I'm so glad that the Republican Party is having a discussion on whether or not the Nazi should be allowed or condemned. This is fantastic. On the podcast, Fuentes praised Soviet dictator Joseph Stalin and claimed the big challenge to unifying the country was organized Jewry. Carlson, a former Fox News host who retains a large following, said Republican Israel supporters suffer from a brain virus. Yeah. And just to be clear, okay? Just to be clear, like, what Tucker and what this Nazi Fuentes is talking about with regards to Israel, they're not talking about it from the perspective of like, oh, we got to think about the Palestinians and the real actual harm that the Israeli state right now is doing. They're like literally ethnically cleansing Gaza as we speak. Like, they're not thinking about it from that perspective. They're thinking about it as like, oh, see, it's we've been right this whole time. It's always the Jewish people, right? Like, they're literally taking this as an opportunistic point to inject their Nazi ideology. That's what this is, okay? Make no mistake about it. Imagine if Democrats embraced the left in the same way the right embraces groypers. Yeah. I did a horrible job on my 60-minute interview with CBS Norah O'Donnell. You know, nobody knew her until I was on, huh? I was sweating like crazy and my signs of dementia and amnesia. What? I need another MRI checkup. Might as well imagine world peace. True. The podcast episode received differently by two bastions of conservative thought. The Wall Street Journal's editorial board condemned it, while the Heritage Foundation president Kevin Roberts defended it. Whoa! They requested, oh no, I don't care about the Wall Street opinion. Criticizing the venomous coalition attempting to cancel Carlson after the interview. Yeah, I know. This is the struggle that the right wing is having right now, whether or not to condemn or just go along with the platforming of Nazi ideology. That's fantastic. Michael Hessler, welcome. So now Trump is claiming he's the only U.S. president ever to end a war. I mean, sure, why not? Why not? Oh, God. He would never say he did a bad job. He would say they did a bad job, and then he would sue them. I wish I knew what it was like to care enough to carry on. I wish I knew what it was like to find a place where I belong, but I am a machine. Never sleep, I keep my... Is this lyrics? I feel like these are lyrics. Where is this from? Is this a song? I feel like it is. I disagree with and even abhor things that Nick Fuentes says, but canceling him is not the answer either. Yes, it is. Not platforming Nazis is perfectly like an acceptable way of handling this, right? And moreover, right? Moreover, it's more that for the conservative side, okay? Because like the left would say, why are we even platforming Nazis to begin with? Like, these people, like, don't deserve a platform because that's what they want. In fact, Hitler explicitly said, you know, during the just right before the rise of the Nazis, you can read about this in the history books. He explicitly said, you know, the media might call us criminals, the media might call us crazy, the media might call us this or that, but what we really want is just to be in the paper, okay? What we really want is our name to be out there, okay? That's what matters. And we fail to realize this over and over and over again. We do not need to platform Nazis. There's nothing to debate with a Nazi. There's nothing to debate there. Like, what are we going to debate? The Holocaust? The reality of the situation? Like, there's nothing to debate there except it only favors the Nazi when you do this because they want their ideas to be mainstream. They want one person, maybe two, to listen and maybe follow them. That's it. The fact that they're out there and being legitimized is what they want. And being legitimized by someone like Tucker Carlson, who is also a Nazi himself, although not as explicit, but I guess nowadays, it doesn't really matter since he's out of Fox News. But yeah, it's the legitimization is what they want. So yeah, the general rule is that you don't need to platform Nazis. There's no real reason to platform Nazis. They belong in 4chan and obscure corners of the internet. That's where they belong. Address the substance of what he says. Yeah, I mean, sure, I can address the substance of what was said in the interview, but I'm not going to sit there and talk to him, right? Like, there's no point in doing that. I can address the ideology. I can address what he's been saying, in the same way that I'm addressing Ben Shapiro right now for pearl clutching, if that makes sense. And you know, and I can respond that way, but I'm not going to sit here and talk to Ben Shapiro or to Nick Fuentes in a debate, thinking that this is going to be a legitimate exchange of ideas, right? Because that's not what it's going to end up being. It's going to end up him trying to push the needle. Robert Slater explicitly condemned anti-Semitism and detailed his disagreements with Fuentes. Shapiro pushed back on Robert's characterization. It's not a cancellation to draw more lines between viewpoints. You see, this is what's fascinating. If you just ignore Fuentes instead of dismantling his constructs, you're not saving anyone. You're only doing harm reduction. Yeah, I mean, like, you can address Nick Fuentes and his arguments, but you don't have to, like, platform him. Does that make sense? Because you can do that. You can destroy and dismantle and dedicate your content, or dedicate your social media posts, or dedicate, I don't know, if you go out and talk to people, to destroying his ideas, but to platform him and elevate him and pretend like he has a legitimate seat at the table is not the way we should approach this. Also, it's funny watching Ben Shapiro all of a sudden, right? All of a sudden understand that what the left's argument is. It's not cancellation to draw moral lines between viewpoints. Like, literally, that is the left's arguments. That is literally the left's arguments. The left's arguments is that, like, yeah, it's not cancellation to call you out for being a bad human being. Okay, that's what basically Ben Shapiro is saying. These trolls are out of control. Wait, who's trolls? Where are the trolls? I want to see the trolls. I love trolls. Are they in a And a chat that I can't see? Constructs. Yeah, I know. I got you. I see nada. Me neither. I love trolls. They're my bread and butter. Unfortunately, they have a very low shelf life in this channel, but the trolls usually have a very low shelf life here. But sometimes, you know, we eat them up too fast. I mean, that's fine. The whole discourse around cancel culture is so tiring because of how superficial and shallow a lot of the takes are. Yeah. I mean, but it's funny, like, now acknowledging, like, Ben Shapiro now acknowledging, like, wait a minute. It's not cancellation to draw more lines between viewpoints. In fact, we used to call one of that the key aspects of conservatism. Yeah, dude, whatever. Redmond Berry, welcome. The incident sparked internal changes at the Heritage Foundation. Ryan Niehaus, Robert's former chief staff, resigned from the conservative think tank. A Heritage spokesperson confirmed. Niehaus reposted statements defending Robert's statement on Twitter. Niehaus is a good man. We appreciate his service. Blah, 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 blah. Carlson's interview with Fuentes came on the heels of other high-profile incidents of anti-Semitism on the political right. Yeah, I mean, not beating the accusations, not beating the Nazi accusations. Last month, a nominee leading to the office of special counsel withdrew his nomination after bagging of his Nazi streak in a text message. Days earlier, Political leaked a group chat of young Republicans who praised Hitler and joked about the Holocaust. The same week, a Nazi symbol was discovered hanging in a GOP congressional office. Shapiro, a prominent conservative podcaster who's hosted fundraisers for Donald Trump and Senate GOP candidates in the 2024 cycle, warned that a splinter faction of white supremacists is being facilitated and normalized into the Republican Party's mainstream, aided by Carlson. Hey, listen, Ben Shapiro, can we take 5 seconds and dive into that? I mean, seriously, take 5 seconds and think about that, okay? Why is there a splinter faction of your movement being facilitated and normalized into your party? Why is that, huh? That's weird. That's really, really weird. Why is that happening, huh? No introspection, nothing? Maybe you should talk to your friend Matt Walsh about that. About how we got white supremacists being facilitated and normalized into the Republican Party. Stop using the conservative, they're fascists. Yeah, but my argument is that the conservative movement is the groundwork to fascism. While conservatives aren't fascist, they certainly help pave the road to them. That's why they exist within conservative spaces, right? Like, not every conservative is a fascist, but the ideology around conservatism certainly tends to breed fascists. Does that make sense? Right? Like, the only spawn points, as I call them, for fascists are conservative circles, right? Like, it just keeps happening. The environment in which fascists seem to appear from and grow are conservative circles. Whether or not conservatives agree with the fascists, that's a different story, and you can have that argument. My argument is that, well, the conservative ideology tends to foster and allow and bring about fascist ideology. Probably because of the subservience to capital. Churchill was a conservative and a staunch opponent of Hitler. Great. And I agree. Not all conservatives are necessarily fascists or adhere to fascist ideology, strictly speaking. But I'm saying that the movement and the ideology around and the environment that it breeds seems to... let's put it this way. it's not a coincidence as to why the Republican Party finds itself with a Nazi problem. Okay. It's not a coincidence. Okay. That doesn't mean every single one of these Republican people are fascists, or every single one of them to the T are Nazis. I'm saying that it's not a coincidence that that's where they find their home. Does that make sense? Nadia, welcome. Liberalism has never been anything but conservatism. Well, yeah, I mean, liberalism is conservative by definition, simply because it's on the right. Conservatism has never been anything but fascism, and fascism has never been anything about committing the H word. Yeah, I mean, like, I agree that the argument is that these people are what paved the road to, they paved the road to fascism. Okay. The old conservative and the old guard, people like, for example, like Reagan, was that turning point, John Lithium. Yeah, but you can't call people the sorts of Kirk and Carlson conservative. Well, I don't. They do. I mean, they consider themselves conservatives. Maybe if conservatives want to do a distinction, maybe they should fight and kick them out of their movement. But they never do. They always seem to find their way back. And I know, and I make a distinction between conservatism and fascist. Obviously, these are two different words. They have meanings and they have different they're different, but really they exist in the same space. They exist in the same space, and my point is that should they want to kick these people out, and should they really want to fight these Nazis, they can, but it keeps happening. It keeps happening. They did it to themselves. Yeah. The main agent in normalization is Tucker Carlson, who is an intellectual coward, a dishonest interlocutor, and a terrible friend, Shapiro said. Oh, man. Bless your heart, Ben Shapiro. Bless your heart, okay? Like, this idea that Ben Shapiro is now clutching his pearls, all right? Like, by realizing, or I don't know if he knows about this stuff, right? He literally works with, Matt Walsh. The annual Republican Jewish Coalition annual leadership summit last week, Jews attempted to distance Carlson from the GOP mainstream. Matt Brooks, CEO of RJC, told reporters that anti-Semitism is a very small, limited party in our party, and attendees waved printed placards that said, "Tucker's not MAGA." Okay, yeah, dude. Sure. Fight. Shapiro, who's Jewish, warned that the GOP is being eaten by its radicals. I've got news for Ben Shapiro. How did that happen? They keep finding if Nazis, okay, if Nazis and these extremists, as you call them, and these fascists keep finding a home in your movement. If these fascists and Nazis found their way back in your party and found a home in your party, and no one's doing anything about it, and now you're all hemming and hawing because it's coming out in the public, because every one of these Nazi freaks feels like it is. It's right there. It's the last line. We'll get to it. No, technically he didn't blame the left. He's just kind of falsely equivocating them. But anyways, so yeah, now we're all hemming and hawing that it's being out in the open, because guess what? I would bet a copious amount of American dollars, okay, that if this interview never aired, Ben Shapiro wouldn't be talking about this. Okay? If this interview didn't air publicly and was seen by millions of people, then Ben Shapiro wouldn't have said nothing. Judgment free zone, welcome. Shapiro's like Saagar almost. I mean, like, Saagar like instantly triggers me, okay? Like, Ben Shapiro I loathe, and I can't stand Ben Shapiro, and it, like, Ben Shapiro, the moment I hear him, like, I get instantly annoyed. But Saagar has a very special place in my heart, as I've already explained. As I've already explained as to why I absolutely, really, really despise that motherfucker. So I've gone through that one extensely. Saagar has a very, very, very special place in my heart. Can't wait to hear the latest argument for how this is actually the left's fault. The Shapiro, who's Jewish, warned that the GOP is being eaten by its radicals. Wonder why the left followed its radical electorals to hell. It didn't. But okay, like this is delusional, right? Like, instead of actually arguing like about what you're gonna do to solve the problem, the Nazi problem in your movement, instead, like, hey, look, actually, we shouldn't take the same steps as the left. This didn't happen. This is delusional. You see the difference between how like the left and right operate? Like this is delusional. This didn't happen. This never happened. Saagar, for the most part, is an empty suit. Yeah, but he specifically is a very disgusting human being. Like, Saagar is genuinely a piece of shit. Saagar, like, I think he's more than just an empty suit. Like, he pretends, right, to be like this kind of like faux like cool, down to earth, like normal Republican, right? Like, look, I'm just a normal conservative with normal conservative views. But like, no, he's really, really disgusting. Like, he just deeply disgusts me. And I've mentioned why. He specifically really, 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 really grinds my gears. Anyways, yeah, this never happened. The left didn't follow its radicals to electoral hell. What he's saying is that the Democratic Party capitulated to the radical left, and that's what led to their demise. That's not what happened. Apparently, many on the right wish to do the same. Yeah, the same. You know, the same. You know, the right has fascists, right, who want to literally kill people like Ben Shapiro. And the radical left want to give people, like, you know, healthcare and housing, right? Same thing. Same thing. Although he may be right about that being representative of median conservative views, like, it is disgusting. Just because I don't doubt having about a lot of the same bullshit myself at the age of reason, I honestly believe it for reasons they think they're good. They don't consciously imagine themselves horrible authoritarian fascists that whatever name you call it under functionally their beliefs result in. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, no one believes that they're the bad guy, right? Like, no one believes that they're doing the horrific stuff that you're doing. But that just goes to show how much laziness or simply whatever the reason, lack of time or effort, just reflecting on their beliefs. Yeah, because it's easier. It's easier to just not do that, right? Like, why is Ben Shapiro? Why would I, as Ben Shapiro, sit down and have a think about why I have a Nazi problem here? Like, they just don't think, and if they're privileged, all the easier to just blunder through life and have it more or less work out well enough. Yeah, I mean, like, Ben Shapiro, right? Like zero introspection as to why there's a Nazi problem within his camp, right? Zero. I can't believe there's a bunch of radicals saying a bunch of anti-Semitic stuff. How could this have happened? You know, this doesn't represent our beliefs. Then why are they there? Like if they don't represent conservative beliefs, which again I will concede that obviously there's like distinctions and levels, right? It's a better way of describing it. There's levels to this stuff, right? But it seems to me, unless shown otherwise, it seems to me like these Nazis and these fascists seem to have they seem to be very comfortable in your camp. So I don't know, man. Some introspection may be warranted. It just keeps happening, man. It just keeps happening, you know. Nazi scandal number 2,583,000, 1,000 bajillion. Okay, it just keeps happening, and you people, and you people just kind of like, I can't believe this. Anyways, and continue your propaganda. Nothing changes. Like, do you think that Ben Shapiro's show is going to have a radical 180 turn and try to root out what is the cause of this anti-Semitism? Do you think Ben Shapiro is going to do a 180 and dedicate his podcast to undoing, you know, the damage that he's done, undoing the path that he's built for all his followers, which some decided to take to their natural conclusion? No, he's not going to do that. Yeah, coming up with great one-liners to describe themselves. Yep. All right, folks. Speed run because I got to get out of here. It's already past 7 o'clock. So do we really need to go over this? Elon Musk backed Cuomo, so that's all you need to know. Most Americans say the country's on the wrong track, blaming Trump for inflation. But more importantly, I think I want to highlight this. More say the Democratic Party is out of touch than Trump or the Republican Party. This is a abysmal failure of the Democratic Party. This is sad. Okay. This is sad. Okay. This is just sad. This is just sad. Cuomo is just greasing some wheels for wherever his political career goes from here. Hopefully nowhere. Hopefully Mamdani just blows him out of the water and that's it. And that's the end of it. But yeah, Cuomo is being backed by Trump and being backed by Elon Musk. So that's all you basically need to know. With regards to that, go vote for Mamdani, please, if you're in New York. But yeah, the highlight of this here is the more Americans say that the Democratic Party is out of touch with concerns of most people in the United States today than Trump and the Republican Party. This is a several own goals. It is repeatedly own goals. Just kicking the ball right into to their own net. I believe and I suspect this is the work of Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries. That's the fruits of their work right here. So fantastic. The party at top is the DED. It's amazing how if you thought Cuomo was bad enough, he just keeps finding new reasons and new reasons to not having vote for him. True. Really, even if you cared 0% about ideology. I mean, like, seriously, just like the worst people. Maybe he goes back to defending Netanyahu. Anyways, this is the crucial part about this, because like we know, like Trump and his agenda is wildly unpopular, but also like we can't ignore this. We really can't ignore this at all. SNL's Cold Open was about the debate. Was really hilarious in my opinion. Yeah, post some clips. I always get to see them on my off times. They're not out of touch. Their goals are not what people assume they are. The Dems are obsessed with Cold War style fighting communists among their ranks. Yeah. But like that's how people perceive it. You know what I mean? Because they're not paying attention to the people. They're not addressing kitchen table issues. They're too busy like being neoliberals, and that's the problem. And people feel like that's where this is coming from. Like, yeah, I agree with you. I'm just saying like the people who just generally speaking are not in the know, they just kind of feel like they're out of touch because they're not being addressed. Instead, they're fighting, you know, the progressive wing, or they're just mumbling about doing nothing. And that's the problem here. That is fundamentally the problem. We'll see if SNAP benefits get released this week. We'll keep an eye out on that, but we don't really need to go much more into details. Trump orders more Venezuela briefings for Congress. So the TLDR on this, and we'll keep track, is that it is possible that the Trump administration is considering military strikes within Venezuela. We don't know much more details, except that they're maybe planning, maybe not. Under the guise of dealing with the narco, drug trade or whatever BS that they're trying to cook up. This is a serious escalation, and I'm not sure what's going to come out of it. They may end up deciding to try to strike Venezuela, in which case it would be a disaster. But hey, you know, anything to avoid elections, I guess. All right, folks, I got to get out of here. It is just about 7:13. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate all of you guys being here. You guys are what makes this channel go. Thank you for your support, and thank you for bearing with me despite our technical issues. Hopefully it's resolved. I'm pretty sure it's resolved, but yeah, it was a Wi-Fi issue. Thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Heat. Thank you, Michael Hasser, for modding the chat. Do all the stuff, look at all the stuff, and then do the things, you know? It's that simple, folks. Join the Discord. Important stuff. Check out my show. No, tomorrow there is no This Space show. Tomorrow there's election coverage, by the way. So tomorrow, number one, you should be voting. So I don't even want to see you here, folks. Okay? You should be voting if there's a special election, if there's an off-year election in your area. You shouldn't even be here. Go vote. If you haven't done so, do so tomorrow. So don't even. I'm not here. So go vote. So do all the stuff and things. Yeah. The Venezuela rubbish is also anti-communism. Fascism is anti-communism. Yes, it's a very big aspect of it. Yes. It is rubbish. It's 100% rubbish. It's all just nonsense. It's fabricated. It's part anti-communist just for the sake of being anti-communist. It's also part warmongering. It's also part warmongering. It's also part exerting the possible avenue for authoritarian crackdown. To say, oh look, we're in a war. Sorry guys. I guess elections are suspended. Like any of those things are quite possible. Or if they're chatting while waiting in line. True. Again, I did nothing wrong and they still indicted me. Yeah, red baiting. Exactly. Exactly what Nadia's talking about. All right, folks, I got to get out of here. Thank you all for being here. Thank you again to Michael Hester and Heat for modding the chat. I appreciate it. We'll be back on Wednesday at around 5 p.m. Eastern time. Thank you all. Please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love you all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one, Wednesday, about 5 p.m. Spread the word, folks. It really does help us out. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. Can you react to this before you go? Nope. Bye. I'm off the clock. All right, folks, let's hang tight. We're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See ya. And join the Discord.